Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to look at this Crested Ibis. It's a 1.2 meter, really nice looking RC airplane with a 3-bladed prop. This one is actually, I would say that this is a version of the FMS Falcon, because they are almost exactly the same apart from some of the electronics inside. And the paint and stickers and such, but I think it's just another version of the FMS Falcon. So let's go out and do Maiden on this one. I will just put this one down and let's get up in the air then. Gears are up, kind of a little bit bumpy takeoff. So I'm running this on a 4S 2200 milliamp battery. I'm going to start off some aerobatics quite high up. So maybe I'm going like 50-60% throttle. I'm just pushing it a little bit higher, maybe 70% on the loops and rolls. It's a nice looking red and white color, especially against this blue background. Does track really nice in the sky, this one. Let's drop some altitude and have a closer look at this Crested Ibis. I really like this, the red colors on this one. And it does slow down now, even without flaps. And it looks really nice without the landing gears also. It's a nice sleek design. So idle throttle here, just picking up speed when I'm about to turn. So slow flying is nice. So let's pick up speed again and do some aerobatics. You can certainly do fly agile style if you like. So the ESC alarm is actually being triggered by when I do this aerobatics, and it usually does, because there's more load on the prop than on the ESC. I like to do this kind of mixed flying where I go slow and low and then go a little bit higher up and do aerobatics. So 1 minute left on timer, so I think we better do a few circles and get it down so that the gears are down. So I will make a final turn and then line up for landing. Always interesting to land on Maiden. So let's just get down and flare. Okay, I got down in a good shape. So, I mean, this is actually a really nice flying RC plane, and I really think it looks really nice with these colors on this one. It's a super fantastic looking RC plane, this Crested Ibis. I honestly didn't know what to expect from this RC plane when I did the Maiden. I did purchase this one because I think it looks nice. I did also purchase this one because it does feature these retracts, and they are also spring loaded, so there are actually springs inside of these, both the rear wheels and even the front wheel. But as soon as I got up in the air and I made a few rounds, and I started to do aerobatics, and I just went around in the sky. To me at least, I think this one flies really nice. It's easy to fly. You don't have to go, full throttle in order to do maneuvers. It's really easy to tell orientation, and because it does have the white and red on the wings and on the fuse as well, and red and white is actually my favorite colors on RC airplane because it makes them really nice when you see them in the sky. And I also think that this kind of fat and wide fuselage also makes this one look really great when it flies. So it was kind of, I did take a chance just to purchase this one, but I think it's actually a really nice RC airplane. I also dig this 3-bedded prop and the red spinner. So overall, I mean, it doesn't feature flaps, which certainly would have been nice. And I think it could be actually possible to put flaps on this one, but I won't. Because I think when you actually went in to do the landing, it did kind of slow down nice, and I had a nice glide slope down. And even on grass, thanks to these spring dampened nose wheel especially, it does actually flex and absorb if you have a kind of a rough landings. So I certainly wouldn't, make them too rough, but I think this one feels really solid. So, and they are kind of aluminum construction. So hopefully they will just work great. If you just have a look inside them, so there's a lock over here which you pull back, and then you can actually remove the canopy. So the canopy then, it's not too detailed, but it does actually feature this nice pilot figure inside. Not too much on the instrument panel or other details, but I think it still looks nice. And the interior is really, really roomy and spacious. So over here is actually my AR630 receiver. And there's also this interesting board which it comes with. So this is actually a PMP version, so all the servos and the retracts are included, but you have to provide your own receiver in this one. So as I said, I actually have the AR630, and I did also put in a 45 amp Avian ESC, and it does use this IC3 connector. So I have all the telemetry feeding my AR630 and back to my TX. So it's a really nice feature just to have control of all the battery voltage really. So I did also put in LED lights, just 2 in front of this one, and I actually have there are a rear facing white LED, and just below it there is a small red one. That is actually a beacon. And I took a lighting kit that is made for a Cessna. So here's the small light controller, and this one is actually hooked up to this board. And quite interesting, because this board, all the servos are connected through this board. So you actually connect the servos to this one and then to your receiver. And I suppose it's only to enable to have all these free connectors over here to actually put in LED connectors to have LED lights. But what is strange really, because I couldn't find any information about this one if you could purchase kind of a LED kit. And as this is in essential form, it's an FMS Falcon. It would not have the kind of electronics and paint job, but it's almost the exact same RC airplane. So I suppose they're made in the same factory. So it's a kind of odd that I couldn't find any LED kit, so I just had to take this LED kit from the Cessna, and I might do also navigation lights on the wing further on. But what's really odd, because if you look at the manual, there's supposed to be an extra servo lead coming from the board, which they're supposed to make you to control the LED lights. But there was no lead, so I actually found a spare servo lead I had in my toolbox, so I soldered one in. And now I have it on one channel as well. So I can actually flip the LED lights on and off, which is a good thing, because honestly, LED lights look so nice when you have them at home and when you fly really dark or twilight. But during daylight, it's almost totally unnecessary to have LED lights, because it's difficult to actually see them when you fly. So it's a good thing that I can actually turn them off. I think when I was about to take off with this one, it did have a tendency to actually the prop blades to hit the grass, and it wasn't long grass at all. So I suppose the clearance between the prop and the ground is just a little bit too narrow, and I also think that it's a nice that this front wheel actually do flex, but it might flex a bit too much when you're on a bit of uneven grass. And as far as CG, you're supposed to actually to mount the battery just over here. And I suppose this one is aimed to have a 2200 3S battery inside, or 4S if you change the ESC. But to have the CG correct, I did kind of a modification, put a plastic plate over here, and there are some Velcro, so the battery is placed onto this section as well, and then I actually have the CG correct. And I think that actually I was a little bit, tiny bit nose heavy, so I can certainly move the battery a little bit further back. But I mean, overall, I was surprised that this one flies so well, and I think it looks really nice. The design is really nice, and I've seen the FMS Falcon, which is nice looking, but I honestly think this one looks better. And I could compare this one for the E-flite Cherokee 1.3, which is kind of a similar RC airplane with also this fat fuse and canopy. So overall, I mean, if you actually consider this RC airplane, I think you will be rewarded with one great flying one. I do think that you actually have to replace the ESC in order to run it on 4S. And on 4S, compared to 3S, I think, of course, it's more agile, but I don't think 4S is actually necessary, because I certainly think that you can fly with 3S and be totally happy and have a maybe a 5 or 6 minutes flight time on a 2200 milliamp battery. So I mean, it's just a nice looking RC airplane. It's quite easy to assemble also, and the good thing is there is no glue needed, so you can actually just remove the wings and the rear stabilizer if you want to pack it down in the box. And the box is actually quite nice, as this one is, a kind of fake FMS Falcon. Usually FMS RC airplanes have a nice, boxing. Packing in the box, so I mean, you certainly can for storage if you need to just take everything in the wings and the stabilizer off and store it as is. So I mean, I think I was pleasantly surprised by this one, and it flies so nice and it looks nice. So that's my thoughts then about this Crested Ibis or FMS Falcon.